Boys have hit a bad one. The boys have hit a bad one. Good to see a bit of raving going on. Right, so where are we? Last night of my holiday. Thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it, I must admit. That looks a bit like Motherwell, doesn't it? Not that there's anything wrong with Motherwell. And that is just Austro-Hungarian wonderfulness. So what are my thoughts, musings, what else? What am I taking away from the holiday this year? I think price-wise it's similar to Glasgow. It's not really any cheaper. I think booze might be a little bit cheaper. In some supermarkets, check this out. I even walked through Tesco's and a Lidl to try to compare prices with the UK before I realised I don't really know what the prices in the UK are. However, olive oil is expensive. I think that's expensive in Scotland as well. Price of a meal here, 8 to 12 euros for a main course. Wine seems to be about 4 euros a glass. You can get a bottle of wine for 4.5, 4 euros, 5 euros. In supermarkets. So I think that's a bit cheaper than Scotland. You can get a bottle of beer for 55 cents. 60 cents. You're definitely not getting that in Scotland. However, I believe that might be down to the Scottish Government passing laws to try to stop us all becoming alcoholics. Obviously that's worked to treat and not enriched the companies that make alcohol in any way, shape or form. But anyway, from a safety point of view, I'm about 5'10", I weigh about 14 stones. I'm bald. I'm not a 17-year-old woman or a 60-year-old woman. There's some music playing in the background. What's going from that? So I'm not easily intimidated, and I don't, even in sort of dodgy places in Glasgow, I don't feel particularly threatened. However, I would say in Bratislava, I've managed to find some rundown areas. I'll walk past this quick as well. I've managed to find some rundown areas in Bratislava. I walked through them in the middle of the night. There's quite a few drunk people about. Is that music coming in? Quite a few drunk people about, and in no way did I feel intimidated, threatened. And I've got Mrs. Z with us as well. She said the same thing. You get any input? Would you like to say? So I'm going to say, as far as safety goes, it's as safe as feeling a city as I've walked through. The other thing I didn't say, it was my birthday when I was here. I'm 60 years old, so I didn't do the clubs. I'm not really a puppy guy. We did do a bit of people watching from some cool bars. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Things I really liked. I've been in a few of the former Soviet bloc countries before. Krakow, Budapest, the Czech Republic, and now Bratislava, and I must admit, I really do adore them. The weather was kind of okay when we were down here. And this is the old town, this is the primo touristy bit of the city. It's spotless. It's safe. The architecture now, maybe it's because I'm old, but stuff like architecture and history are things that I really enjoy, and I must admit, I did a tour the other day, and the history of the place is absolutely bonkers. Everybody's had a pop at it. The Romans, the Austro-Hungarians, the Nazis, the Soviets. So it's just steeped in history. I grew up in a diet of watching 1960s spy movies, and a lot of the time I feel as if I've been walking about in a set from the type of films that I watched when I was a kid growing up. Is it for you? I'm an architecture buff, I'm a history buff. It was for me, judging by the amount of young people in the area and the amount of clubs and pubs and stuff. I would say it is a good holiday destination for families, single people, younger people. I've not seen anybody falling about the place steaming drunk. But again, I've not been out here at 2:30 in the morning, you know. I'm sure it does happen, but I can only highly recommend it. Every corner you turn in Old Town is absolutely beautiful. Really pretty, stunning. Anything I didn't like, I think if I'd visited this place 10 years ago, we would have seen it on the up. Like Glasgow was eviscerated in the 1980s, wasn't it? So if you'd appeared in Glasgow in the early 90s or the 90s, you'd have seen a different city from what you've seen now. But that type of thing appeals to me, you know. When I was in the newer part of the city, I did see an awful lot of graffiti, and it just made me feel sick. I can't understand why, when you live in some place this pretty, you would pull a spray can out and write Bobby down the side of one of these. But some maniacs do that, and I just don't think it serves any real purpose. Anything else? It's got homeless people. I've seen a few people in the streets begging. We get that in Glasgow as well, don't we? Again, I didn't feel threatened. I didn't think they were aggressive in any manner, way, shape or form. As I moved about the city as well, I think Bratislava is 80% on its feet, and I think in another 5 or 10 years' time this place is just going to be a remarkable tourist destination. There's a couple of places I've been where they're selling houses at £1 million and stuff. Well, €1 million and 1.5 million euros. So there's money here. There's business opportunities here. I loved it. The other thing that I think it's really good for is Vienna. It's about 1 hour away from here, so you could put get some accommodation here, jump into the train, go visit Vienna, which was considerably more expensive, and maybe save yourself a couple of quid and take in a couple of historic European capitals. So back home in the Mora, back in the big smoke, back in Glasgow. I loved it, and I think whether you're single, a young couple, people ages with myself, some of the restaurants are beautiful, some of the bars are beautiful. It's a nice place. If you love architecture and you're caught up in the former Soviet bloc countries, I wouldn't recommend it enough. So, on that note, thank you all for watching. Bye.